It's rolling. So be very welcome once again to As Above So Below. Today I'm making this video to talk about nonetheless Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So today we are on the 3rd of May, and since 2 days ago Pluto began its retrograde march. First in Aquarius, and then it's going to be, it's going to switch to Capricorn, and then again move into Aries in 2024. So this is a very, very important time, a very transformative time. Pluto, you already know, in spite of all the bullying that this planet has been subjected to, it is quite tough. Its influence is tough. It's and it's one of I feel it's the main responsible for all the things that are happening right now. If you want to read the stars or the energy that surrounds us, Pluto and Saturn are the main responsible, and the main responsible planets. And then you have Chiron, okay, that is still in Aries, and it's opening up all these wounded all these wounds that are connected to our identity. And at the same time we have Pluto trying to reform society, so you see. And meanwhile Neptune is having a talk, a very delusional talking to himself, that he wants to keep their dream alive. So Neptune is saying that he wants to keep its dream alive, and Saturn is saying, well, no can do, we have a wake-up call, we have stuff to do, we have money to earn. If you want to get this, this dream rolling and making it a real thing. Okay, so this is a highly transformative time, as I said before, because Pluto has moved into Aquarius, and from 2024 until 2044, it's going to stay in Aquarius, okay, period. And this is going in, for so long, he has been in Capricorn, and then is switching into Aquarius. And from 2024 until 2064, it's going to be in Pisces. What does this all mean? Okay, so first and foremost, Pluto rules the underworld, rules Hades and transitions, and everything that is occult, everything that is dead and or during, or that is subjected to a transformation, and it's gaining new light or new life. Okay, so it's dealing with the things that you really don't want to deal with, and the South Node is still in Scorpio. So you have been, well, we all have seen all these things that are connected to the industry and the behind the scenes, all the behind the scenes of the last 20, 30, 40 years from now. And we have seen the atrocious things that have been done, and in silence. So everything is coming, everything is being brought to the light, and we are assuring, or trying to assure, that those things don't happen again through a very, and sometimes disruptive and extreme behavior, just like cancel culture. You cannot cancel actually anything. You can just, say no to something, or, well, I'm not going to consume any of my time, and consuming this kind of music or this kind of food, or I'm not going to watch you again, or I'm not going to be by your side. But canceling, it's a very and extremist, I already said this, in so many videos, it's a very extreme measure for nothing. Okay, because it's going to add, this is opening up a very tumultuous time, because you see, the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, it had two sides of very amazing, sides of the story. The first one was amazing, that, well, we're fighting for human rights, and the other side was really tumultuous and very aggressive, and there was all this, this extreme and bloodshed, and people were, were pitted against, each other. So it is a very necessary but a very tumultuous time at all the same, everything at the same time. It's all I can say, just like the movie. So this is a transformation of the masses, because Aquarius deals with the ideal of community, the ideal of something. We cannot forget that Aquarius comes before Pisces. So this is all like the great, the ideal that we're going to share with the masses. That's the, and the conscious, the collective unconscious, that is Pisces. So this is a transformation of the masses. This is the transformation as individuals that are part of something, and this is, we connecting to each other from a very raw place, okay? Because the underworld, Pluto, Scorpio, it is a very raw place to communicate and participate in society. So this is going to last from the 1st of May until the 11th of October, and until the 11th of June is going to stay in Aquarius, and then from 11th June onwards is going to be in Capricorn. So from the 11th June in Capricorn until the 21st of January of 2024, of course, it is going to stay in Capricorn. So we're going to have a wake-up call from, some months ago, telling, well, you have to review certain things. Not only society in its whole, the system, but you, yourself, as an individual, you'll have to manage and wake up to certain situations that are not as they should be in your life. So this is a call not only for society, but us as individuals, okay? So this is the time I launched a little tarot spread that I made for this particular situation, and I call it Power Plays, because this transformation is not a real, well, it is not, it isn't light, and it isn't something that you can ignore. You cannot ignore Plutonian relationships. They have to be consumed, and it's a lesson that has to be learned. At the same time, with Pluto transits right now and in retrograde, we are set for a true spiritual journey, okay? And the lesson is that we cannot cling to the things that give us power. Not, it's I'm recalling like the Four of Pentacles, that kind of power, the power that stagnates your development, okay? Where there is no development at all, okay? Because you are so sure that the pentacles that you are holding are going to lead you to the placement, the next placement, that is, I'm forgetting the name, so the Emperor. You are so sure that those four pentacles are leading to the Emperor that you are not dealing with the things that you have to deal. You have to confront yourself with the things that are controlling you, just like your obsessions, your bad habits, the things that you lose your time with. Actually, we have so little time to live that, and we see it as, well, I don't know, 68 years old, because, now we have intellectual artificial intelligence, and we're going to have this this kind of technology that is going to assert that we're going to live longer. Well, we don't know about that. Pluto in Aquarius, it has to deal not only with the transformations that we are dealing in society, but also what is going to happen during this second industrial revolution. I feel this is not actually an industrial revolution, this is a spiritual revolution. Because if we look back, back in the day, during the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution, and work in a certain way with the industry, work gave us a sense of identity. I'm not saying it's right, I don't agree with it, but work gave us a sense of identity, okay? I'm not talking about the Latin word tripalium. I don't believe that work must be torture. Work shouldn't be torture. It's like people, well, that's not, that's not work, that's having fun. No, you work to achieve something. You don't have to suffer for it. Well, there are lots of jobs, and perhaps, the industry and technology are already doing that. There are lots of jobs that have they're really heavy, and they still have to be done by human hand and human force. But the thing I'm seeing here is, with all this industrial and this revolution in technology, the things that we are talking about is the amount of jobs that are going to be at risk. The jobs are going to be affected. There are some tech gurus that they're all for it, there are some that are against it, but this is the thing that bothers me the most, okay? Because if work gave us a sense of purpose, what is going to happen to the work in the future? What is going to happen to our sense of purpose? And perhaps that is the question, if it is a good transition, because I don't believe in creating a society where everything is pleasure. I don't believe in that, okay? And it's impossible. Just like let those robots do the things that we don't want to do. It's just like, well, the robots, what are the robots? Perhaps they're going to gain, certain kinds of human traits like feelings and conscience, and then they're going to outstand us in some way, okay? Because we cannot delegate a very, very obscure past, because, well, we have the immigrants. Let the immigrants do the job that us, the people of our country, don't want to do. It doesn't work like that. We must learn from the past. We cannot, well, we're going to stop to colonize certain countries, where we're going to start colonizing space. It's the same thing all over again, but in different places. It's the same thing. So this is a little bit of philosophy. Well, I actually was reading this book, and it's quite good. And this is The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant. I recommend it. And I stopped in this page 509, and he says, since political rights are a delusion and only economical rights avail, people are always misled when they spend so much time seeking the franchise, and mainly the women, okay? Because they're talking about feelings, and we are so worried that we have to be well succeeded. And Pluto in Capricorn is going to talk about this, that the revolution that we seek, it's not really the industrial revolution, but actually it is a technological revolution that might help us to a spiritual revolution. I truly believe that, because actually it is what is going to happen in 2044. People are going to be so fed up with technology, they're going to turn their insights into spirituality. and it's going to be perhaps, I don't know, a war concerned with religion, because religion is being affected as an industry, you see. It's not about the rights, you know. And I have another quote, very interesting quote, that says, voting being simply a method of creating an applicate for the preservation of the rights, the question is whether universality, of votes conduces to creation of the best appliance for the preservation of the rights. We have seen that it does not effectually secure this end. It only secures the interests of the industry, not because politics is, you know, it's economy, actually. If you go into, you know, take a major in economics, you have all the knowledge that you need to know to rule a country, actually, or being well succeeded in being on, you know, in the government. So that's it. It's a very unfortunate time for the arts and sciences and pioneers and words. And so everything is money. That's why we are right now sitting on top of the North Node in Taurus. That's why Uranus is in Taurus. That's why we had Saturn squared Uranus. That's why we had this whole thing connected to a disease that was this trine between Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, all in Capricorn, you know? So actually right now we're dealing with those things. We're dealing with the fact that so many people gain so much money from, you know, a disease that we actually don't know how it started in the first place. So I'm not into, well, I was before, but I feel that it's not, you know, it's not the thing that is going to give me a proper answer. So I'm not into conspiracy theories anymore. I feel that a lot of noise, actually. And I feel that we are going to be forced the next 20 years to look deeply into the ways that we talk, the way that we feed ourselves, you know, this whole industry, the over exaggerated consumerism and capitalism, and people are still dealing with this, okay? They are still dealing with this. You can, you know, you can take a amazing photo we have without, you know, having to buy 20 different dresses to take a goddamn photograph. You see, this is feeding the monster, you know. This is only feeding the monster, okay? And you can do, and you can create so many things without being a consumist, I assure you, okay? You have to recycle. That's the main thing. You have to recycle. So I feel that, you know, the more during this time, the more, and mainly between the 11th of June and the 21st of January. And by the way, I have a little bit of a curiosity to share with you guys, that the 21st January is actually the non-official day of the discovery of Pluto. Actually, people say that it's the 18th of February, but other people that say it's 21st of January. So I feel this is quite symbolic, you know, this transit stay retrograde in Capricorn between the 11th of June and the 21st of January. Between this time, you know, and I'm not talking about, you know, the things that are going to come up, you know, later in 20 years. Between this time, there is going to be a wake-up call for everyone, you know. And I feel that the more we resist the change, and the more painful would be the change, okay? It's always like that. So if you are, you know, if it's happening and if you're having a deja vu, just like the last 2-3 years when Pluto was in Capricorn, it seems like you have to change and you have to be more insightful this time, okay? So right now I've chosen, we're going to do the impact of this transit, this particular transit of Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, that is going to last until the 11th of October. So from the 1st of May to the 11th of October, you're going to feel this need for transformation. And even if you don't need it, it's going to come up anyway. So you better be listening, okay? So we're going to talk about the first sign. And before I, dive into this, be sure that you know your astral charts, and then be sure that that you see where is the house where your Pluto lies, okay? And if it is retrograde, because 40% of people were born, 30% of people in the whole world were born with Pluto retrograde, because it's one of it's straight. So it's lots of people have we're going to have an approach, a more inward approach to this. I'm going to have it for sure, because I was born with a Pluto retrograde in Scorpio. So my whole generation is really trying to deal with this energy of trying to cope with a deep seated desire of transformation. Okay, so if you have you have to see if you have any aspects between your personal signs. I'm not talking about Saturn, conjunct Pluto and stuff like that. That affects so many people. We're all a part of something. Yeah. So I'm talking about the personal planets, just like the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and that's it. I think I haven't forgot anything. So if you have, or an asteroid, by the way, see if there's anything connected to Pluto. If you have perhaps Jupiter in square Pluto. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, there are going to be two main aspects that we're going to feel deeply to the bone during May season. So Jupiter square Pluto, okay? And then on the 21st of May, we're going to have Mars in opposition to Pluto. So these are the two Scorpionic rulers. So Mars opposition to Pluto. I really hope that this doesn't mean war but because this is a very transformative energy, but it's also very aggressive and combative one. So I'm really cross fingers that it isn't anything heavier than a deep desire to transform and act on a greater change for everyone. So that's it. I'm going to, as I was saying, look if you have any aspects, I don't know, Sol, Sun, Sol, I was talking in Portuguese, Sol, Sun conjunct Pluto, or Moon opposite Pluto, or Mercury trine Pluto, anything, that you have connected to Pluto. Just try to see where it is, because if actually you have Mercury conjunct Pluto, congratulations, you're changing your whole outlook of how you perceive your life, and you're transforming the way that you speak, the way that you write, the way that you talk with other people. Okay, so that's it. Just look into your chart. Okay, so now we're going to talk about these the 12 signs. Sorry, I'm a little bit no I'm a little bit slow today, but that's okay. So we're going to talk about the first sign of all. We're going to talk about Aries. So the card that I've chosen for you, Aries, because Pluto is going to go back to your 10th house, is you're in the 11th house, but it's going to go back to your 10th house. So what does this all mean? It means that you have to transform the way that you are working, and perhaps the relationships that you establish on your workplace. Okay, so work is work, party is party. We have in Portuguese a saying that trabalho é trabalho, conhaque é conhaque, so work is work, liquor is liquor, almost like that. And that's it. You have the Three of Pentacles right here. You have to make amends in your workplace and perhaps deal with the relationships that you established through all the years in your workplace, and assure yourself that this is the place you want to be actually. Okay, so the next one, and well, because it's in your 11th house, Pluto is in your 11th house, perhaps you're becoming a leader. It's quite possible. So the next one is Taurus, and this is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is it comes up with an advice that it's being strategic, because Pluto is going to be in a square with Jupiter, and Jupiter is going to be in Taurus. So I feel that your expansion must have a strategy of some kind, okay? Because Taurus, the Pluto is going to fall on your 9th house. This the job and the work that you are doing is going to affect your beliefs. You have to be really strategic to navigate this change in your work, okay? That's it. So the next one, I've chosen the Death card for Gemini, okay? Why I have chosen this? Because Gemini, you are presently with Pluto is falling on your 9th house, and it's going to go back into your 8th house. So during these months, between June and October, June and October, you're going to feel that, and well, June and January actually, but the most effective one is going to be between June and October. You're going to reborn, from a situation. I feel that you kept on living and expanding your life, because the 9th house is about knowledge and traveling and trying to figure out what you want to with your life through traveling and expanding. But actually, I feel that you have to stop for a minute and to assure that you are dealing with the real deal. Ou seja, in Portuguese, what this means? It means that you have to review your life, okay, from the last 1-2 years, because I feel that you kept on growing on top of things, and and coming up with things without solving things in your past. So this is it, okay? So the next one is Cancer. So this is on your 8th house, and in your 8th house is it's a very difficult and transformative time. I feel that you are feeling this deep-seated emotion, and you are feeling like the 9 of Pentacles, that you want to kick everyone out of your life because you want to deal with your emotions, and you don't know how you feel about other people, and you are just dealing with them just like the King of Cups, okay? You know what you feel, but you are not sure if that is the way you should feel about things. So you are reviewing so many things, and this is going to switch up during Pluto in Capricorn. Is going to switch in your 7th house. So if you had a breakup, or you have something coming up in your life, you have to deal with your emotions, not try to hide them, okay? That's it. So the next one is Leo, and it is seated in your 7th house, but it's going to go back to your 6th. So you have to deal with the anxiety of not being corresponded, in style. So I feel that you are putting so much of yourself in something, but perhaps someone is not, it's not, responding, in equal manner to that same energy. So the 6 of Pentacles, it's my advice to you is to deal with people that give the same amount of energy that you put in yourself and in others, okay? So this can apply to your job, but I feel this is more about relationships, because the 6 of Pentacles, it could be, about, job related, because it is not only about job related, but with your health. And if you are working too much on something that it's not being, it's not gratifying to you, you have just to move on, and to assert yourself. The next one is Virgo, and right now is on your 6th house, and it's going to go back to your 5th house. So I feel that is going to come up with a, romantic interest, or just dealing with your own aims and feelings and, sexuality, and, I don't know, the desire to have a child or have a creative project. I don't know, something different in your life. But I feel that you block all those energies, and you're just like, well, I'm going to assure myself, just like, the 9 of Pentacles, that it's the Sun in Virgo. But actually you're having another wake-up call, because you have to deal with your relationships that you left in the past. So perhaps you just decided to avoid, the matters of the heart, and block them, and I don't know, deal with your work or friendships, but it's going to come up again. That's why this is the judgment call, okay? So the next one is Libra. That is currently on your 5th house. That is all about creativity and children and education and expansion and taking a risk. And, before it's going to switch up again to your house of family, a quite difficult time with your family. And I feel this is the way to go. You just have to drop the weight. You are not responsible for none of, the drama or anyone's hurting feelings or problems with, if you're dealing with someone that has a problem, you are not responsible for that. Know that you are not you are a part of a family, but you are not a therapist. Well, unless you are one, and if you are one, you know that you cannot do therapy with your own family. So just drop the weight, okay, and follow through, okay? Drop the weight and find something better to do and to concern yourself, just like, for example, yourself. So the next one is Scorpio, and it is right now in the 4th house. It has to do with your roots, your family, to deal with, the connections, the past connections, and try to, understand the narrative inside your own family and your roots. Where do you come from? Okay, where are you going to be? What things that you have inherited from your parents or great parents or grandparents, I don't know. So this is going to fall back into your 3rd house. So I feel this is going to be a lot of clarity, and you have just like to go a little bit of trying to control not only your words too much, but the other people's thoughts. I know that it's difficult, but my advice to you is to observe a little bit more, just like you usually do, but not try to control anything. Just, absorb things, and try to learn from the things that others people's do and talk, because there is a massive weight on, saying the right things and at the exact time, and sometimes that blocks your spontaneity, okay? So the next one is Sagittarius, and this is the 2 of Pentacles. As you see, you right now are on your 3rd house, and it's being quite amazing, because you are expressing yourself in a very much, on your level. You're feeling that you are expressing yourself in ways that you never did. You're being quite frank, you're being quite objective, and you're feeling like yourself, that you're doing the right thing in your life. Nonetheless, this is falling back for a couple of months in the 2nd house. So I feel that you are trying to balance what you say with your self-worth, okay? So I feel that you have to cut sometimes a little bit of, I don't know, consumism or over-investment in your image. Perhaps this is because you don't feel as worthy, inside of yourself as, an image that you project. So just try to do a little bit of shadow work and try to balance, your emotions with the things that you project outside yourself, because your communication is just doing wonderful. You're just doing wonderful in expressing your desires, okay? But just don't try to correspond your worth to your image or the things that you own, okay? It's not the most important thing. So talking about that, we're switching up to Capricorn, and it's almost the same message, you know, because Capricorn, you have the second house, you're in the second house, you're trying to invest in the things that, you know, gives you purpose and that, you know, makes you feel good. And then this is going to switch up to, ta-da, your first house, to Pluto in the first house. So this is going to be a really truly spiritual adventure, because once again you are in this convulsion of feelings and, you know, and things that you're trying to communicate, but you just can't because it's too deep for you. So at the same time, Pluto in the first house being retrograde is like you being so hedonistic and so self-involved that you're not seeing the things that you were interested in, you know, in invest in the first in the first in the first choice, you know, because, you know, with Pluto hitting your second house, you were doing amazing changes. It's just like, okay, I'm going to invest in this and this and that, and it's going to feel amazing to me. But then you have Pluto again in the first place in your hitting your first house, and it's just like, well, I don't know, this is going pretty good for me. This is, you know, just amazing. So I'll get back to my old ways. It doesn't work like that, because the old ways are going to isolate you in your ambition. Okay, so make sure that you mature your feelings before you being a king of pentacles, you become the king of cups. So the next one is Aquarius, and I felt that I had to choose the High Priestess. And the High Priestess, because, you know, you are right now, you are have Pluto in Aquarius, you have this amazing change spiritually, and you're waking up to the fact there are so many things that you didn't acknowledge about yourself. So this hitting again the 11th house, this is a wake-up call for you to do not block your spiritual journey with logic. Okay, it's just like, well, this doesn't make sense. We wake up one day, well, this doesn't make any sense because, well, perhaps this is bogus, or I was fragile during this time, now things are going for me, and, you know, just like that. I feel like Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius are dealing with ego big time, okay? So just make sure that you listen to your intuition. You do not block your intuition with logic nonsense, okay? There's a place for everything in life. Finally, we have Pisces. And Pisces, you know that you can be quite insecure yourself. You can be quite insecure. In Pisces right now, Pluto is in the 12th house, and we are awakening this whole journey, this spiritual journey. So this is amazing, because we are preparing ourselves, we're setting ourselves for 20 years from now on. And I feel that we are becoming to understand what we are useful, and that we are capable of dealing with other people without feeling undermined or underappreciated, actually. So this is going to hit again for the 11th house. So this is the way that you can and you should acknowledge the importance of a community, or a community of your friendships, the people that are around you, because you know, you might feel that you have to assert your ego, and first to assert your ego and then to participate and communicate with other people. But that's not it. You know, everyone has some kind of limitation, and everyone has a certain kind of talent. So just deal with it and embrace the fact that you are a part of something bigger. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy, just, you know, I don't know, share with your friends. I'm not going to say to like or subscribe, but share with your friends, and say, or if it's a little bit, I don't know, this is 39 minutes. If it's too long for you to, you know, spend those 39 minutes listening to me, just, you know, try to translate that with your opinions in the mix and start a conversation. That's the best thing that you can do. So the next video is going to be about this impact, and it's going to be a pick a card reading about the way that we use our personal power. So stay tuned. Many kisses. Over and out.